The figure of Chucky transcends the simple notion of a miniature horror to become a lasting pop cultural icon. This good guy doll, possessed by the soul of a serial killer, has navigated through a strict tonal shift and complex exploration of voodoo mythology since his debut in 1988. To understand this essence, we must dissect both his creative origin and the descent internal mythology of Charles Lee Ray. The character of Leatherface and the film that introduced him, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, mark a fundamental turning point in horror cinema. Directed by Tobe Hooper and co-written with Kim Henkel. The film was pioneer of the slasher subgenre. Released in 1974, a period of social disillusionment in the United States that reflected the collapse of trust in institutions. The film shot on a modest budget of about $140,000 and featuring unknown Texas actors proved that horror could emerge not from supernatural monsters but from depraved humanity. The root of horror, anchoring in reality. The film's resonance lies in its ability to anchor evil within the dysfunctional family unit, contrasting with the gothic or supernatural horror that had dominated before. The conceptual origin of Leatherface is inseparably linked to the crimes of Edward Theodore Jane, known as the Butcher of Plainfield. Jane, a murderer and grave robber from Wisconsin, became an icon of real-life monstrosity. His atrocities, uncovered in 1957, directly inspired several iconic characters, including Leatherface, Norman Bates' Psycho, and Buffalo Bill, The Silence of the Lambs. The visceral disturbance of the 1974 films comes from transposing artifacts found in Gaines' home into Leatherface iconography. Authorities discovered evidence of multiple atrocities in Gaines' farmhouse, including death masks made from about 10 women and a female facial mask kept in a shoebox. Although director Tobe Hooper cited Gaines as an influence, he clarified that Gaines functioned more as a cultural symbol or rural horror. That literal adaptation Hooper was also drew inspiration from a primate friend who once placed a corpse face on his arm as a joke, and formed a moment of personal frustration in a crowded hardware store, where the idea of using a chainsaw as a weapon was born. Thus Leatherface became a collage of macabre, folkloric, criminal reality, and industrial terror. The creation of the Slayer archetype. Leatherface design underwent a crucial transformation, initially written with dialogue. The filmmakers rewrote him and a deranged, intellectually disabled maniac to make him more terrifying. This decision established him as a brutal and manipulable tool, the de facto butcher and the enforcer of his family. The Icelandic American actor Gunnar Milton Hansen was instrumental physical strength, intellectual disability, and a mastery of the sledgehammer and Jason. Hansen set the standard for the masked villain as a disturbed human being, not a supernatural entity. Leatherface is distinguished by his use of multiple masks made from human skin, which are archaic to his personality. Hansen explained that whichever mask Leatherface wore at a given moment determined his behavior. The character stole identities to fulfill the roles his cannibalistic family demanded, a psychological defense mechanism known as personalization caused by abuse. His mask, such as the old lady and pretty woman, indicated that he alternated between masculine butcher and feminine domestic roles imposed by his family. Psychological analysis: monster or victim? Leatherface is regarded as one of the most tragic and genre. Many see him as a victim of circumstance rather than a sadistic killer. Unlike other antagonists who kill for pleasure, Leatherface commits his crimes primarily out of obedience and fear of his cannibal family, who make him their scapegoat and most abused member. His violence channels a deeply repressive aggression drawn from his toxic environment. In contrast to Michael Myers, Evil, or Jason Voorhees as a supernatural entity, Leatherface impact lies in his humanity. His endurance and brutality stem from depravity and biology, not magic, making him both believed and terrific. This perceived humanity and tragic origin demonstrate that the deepest horror resides in the human capacity for monstrosity. The canonical crucifix for Silence. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre franchise was suffered from narrative fragmentation, resulting in at least 4 distinct timelines, reflecting the difficulty of replicating the original film's ambiguity. Timeline 1 Original includes the 1974 film and its direct sequels. The villain is never formally named in the original. In the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, 1986, the name Bubba Soldier became popular. Timeline 2 Remake includes the 2003 remake and its 2006 prequel, in which the character is identified as Thomas Brown Hewitt. The 2006 prequel meant that Leatherface was born in Slaughterhouse and adopted, detailing the origins of his mask and chaser. Introduces the character as the villain, Fred Sauer. Leatherface 2017 explores his origins in 1965, showing his transformation into the villain after escaping from a psychiatric institution. Timeline 4 Return to the Source simplifies the story directly linking the 1974 original to the 2022 sequel, ignoring all intermediate installments. Leatherface is immediately a character, reaching of the type that is in the rules of the modern situation genre, establishing the presence of the masked killer and the use of different tools like the machete and hammer as a weapon. This complexity is distinct from its familiar television and the real-life horror of the game, making more noting that many successors still leaning towards the fantastic or supernatural. Leatherface embodies the terror of the possible, the monstrosity that could live within any of us. Leatherface endures a relationship aspect of mystic and visceral horror. This story is able of overall themes and disformated and full of physical needs, but continues to explore the boundaries of morality and human The Alternate Canon 2019 reboot. For a comprehensive analysis, we must examine the alternate canon established by the 2019 reboot, which separates Chucky from Tapestry Bay and Voodoo. In the reboot, Chucky is reintroduced as a casual AI body called a high-tech product. His knowledge is no longer supernatural, but the result of communication or programming failure caused by a stimulate broken to remove the doll's moral safeguards. This AI Chucky features a different design, with large eyes and glowing index fingers used to interact with other smart devices. This doll acts through imprinting and defective programming, taking vengeance against anyone who perceives as a threat to his friendship with Andy. The coexistence of these two canons illustrates the archetype of ability to reach irreversible entities. The original Chucky saturated Batman consummation magical horror, while the AI Chucky emphasized technological dependency, progressive innovation, and the omnipresent surveillance solution throughout original function. Chucky's longevity is secured by his unique sound and his ability to rewrite the rules of the slasher genre. This fusion of horror and dark humor qualified for Bridge of Truth creates a character that is both terrifying and entertaining. The franchise sustained success into three-dimensional vision, producing narrative continuity and methodological expansion. The invention of the soul-splitting input of Chucky was the definitive solution for the saga's survival. By allowing Chucky to exist in multiple ways, the franchise can integrate all its classical characters simultaneously without constant reboots. Chucky represents the archetype of the betrayed toy, a concept flexible enough to embody both the hidden fears of the 1918 Charles Lee Ray and the technological anxieties of the modern era, 2019 Aslan AI. This adaptability combined with his macabre charisma and Brad Dourif, local adventurer, cements his legacy as one of the most recognizable and immortal villains in horror cinema.